there might be like one track where I didn't really necessarily like it as much as the other ones, but I don't feel like he's made as far as like the OG stuff, like the Find My Name might be a different story, but as far as like
Yeah,
the
right,
OG
right.
stuff, I think the OG stuff is gonna be hard to rank. And then there's even another track that Nas was a part of, but it's not Nas's song. He's on another album with another artist, but Primo did the beat.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't know about that collab unless you like really and you underground. So I know you might know about it and Raka knows about it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
like the other heads, they might not know about it or they forgot about it. But I'm like,
Right.
yo, like this will be like the best time to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Salute, salute. Subscribe to
Mm-hmm.
the channel. We back, Danny Rap Podcast. We're doing something different tonight. It's not the regular live stream. I was gonna do the regular live stream, and then I was like, you know what? Let's do this tonight. This is we talking about the top 5 Nas and Primo tracks. Nas and Premier got the new album Light Years coming out December 12th. That's next week, next Friday. And I wanted to like let's get a jump on it now and rank our favorite top 5 Nas and Primo collabs all time. And it's like Mojo said, it's hard because there's a lot of great tracks that Nas and Primo did, since Illmatic to now, and you know it was hard to just narrow it down to 5. But I think I got a good list. I think my list, I'm satisfied with it. I think a lot of people are gonna be satisfied with it. And who wants to go first?
Are we gonna do like 5 through 1, or are we gonna do
Yeah,
like
like 5 to 1.
okay? Okay, cool. Yeah, and try let me know who pops into the because I can't
Okay,
see who's watching and I can't see I had some homies I told some homies to come through the
okay.
live.
We got
So
Andrea, no Andre.
yeah.
I can't even say his name. It's Andre Elmore, I think.
Oh, um
Andrea Elmore.
Elmore, that's Liam, I believe. That's my
Okay,
homie.
salute to you, Liam.
Yeah, that's the homie right
I know
there.
another Liam, but he's from Wales. So shout out to Satellite
Uh,
Music, but
yeah.
he's probably sleeping right now over there. But yeah, salute to you. Thanks for joining the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We go live every Wednesday night, either at 8 p.m. or 8:30 on the East Coast, and this is for the culture, man. So glad that you could join us for this. And I sent the link to Ray Lansky, so maybe he'll show up. And I sent the link to Uncle Freezy. I know he might not show up because the Knicks are playing the Hornets right now, so he's covering the Knicks games. But you want to go first, Mojo?
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
So yeah, like I said, it was tough to come with the top 5. I did it on maybe on another day it would be a different top 5, but
Right.
this is what I got right now. And really for me, uh, my top 3 I feel like could be interchangeable
Uh,
for number 1, but my number 4 and 5 I think I feel good about them being either 4 or 5. So
okay.
with that being said, my number 5 is Represent
Ooh,
off Illmatic.
yes.
I mean, really, just I mean, I'm going to be repeating myself this whole podcast. Just amazing beat, amazing verses. The only reason why it's down at number 5 is because
Uh,
I feel like the chorus was just. I get what they were trying to do with the chorus, and it probably
right.
works for some people, but it didn't. It didn't. It didn't hit
It didn't work
me.
for you?
Yeah. It didn't hit me. But it didn't drop it so far where it dropped out of my top 5. Like the
Right.
verses and the beat are so good that it deserves to be in that top 5. And I can see how it gets people a hype. Represent, represent, represent.
Right.
But I feel like for me, it was just kind of a basic chorus. But I know some people will probably feel differently about it. Like,
You,
hey, that
you know,
that that chorus is hype.
you know what the backstory to that is that Jungle said like him and the crew, like they peoples from Queensbridge, they all went in the studio and they were just happy to be on the song, but it was only like 2 of them in the crew that could rap,
Yeah.
and he was looking at it like, yo, none of us are rappers, but they just happened to be on the song, and that's why they sounded so amped up on the chorus. You know what I'm saying? So when
Mm-hmm.
you hear like
Mm-hmm.
that live, they don't even do that on tracks anymore. When you hear that live studio reaction, you know,
Yeah.
inclusion from Nas's peoples on the track, and you know they saying represent y'all, represent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I love that.
Yeah.
That's something that's missing from hip hop today. We don't hear songs like that anymore.
Right.
Where you
Right.
might put your peoples in the
Absolutely.
background, or you know what I'm saying? Like Native Tongues did that a
Yeah.
lot. You know, De La Soul did that a lot with their skits on their earlier albums and stuff, and that's something that's missing. You know, Boot Camp did that a lot as well. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that was like the backstory that Jungle was talking about, and um the version that's on the album was the remix, right? So
Mm.
there was like a different version that Primo made, and then
Mm.
you know when he was around Lost Professor and Q-Tip, and he heard you know One Love, and he's hearing you know the it ain't hard to tell and the other stuff that Lost Professor gave Nas. He's like, yo, I gotta go back in and update this track. So the
Mm.
version that we hear on Illmatic, that's actually the remix.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting. You know, and
Is the OG out there anywhere?
it has to be on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I
You know
gotta
what I'm
peep
saying?
that.
I don't remember. I don't remember hearing the original version. If I did, I don't remember it. But it has to be on YouTube because I know he did what was it there's another you know, he did like so many remixes back then. Is crazy. It was hard to keep up with you know all the remixes and alternate versions and stuff. But
Right.
I remember hearing on Stretch of My Beat, they played the OG version of
Mm.
It Ain't Hard to Tell.
Mm.
And it's like the one you hear on the album is different from the OG version.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
was more like the OG one was like more soulful. You know, it almost sounded like they took Michael Jackson's song and just had Nas you know rhyme over it. But the album version to me is I like the album version more than the other version. But you know,
Yeah.
they were doing that, you know, back then. You know what I'm saying? They had like alternate versions or like the radio mix or whatever. Sometimes you would get that on like the cassette CD single or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then when
Yep.
you hear it, it's like, oh well, I like the album version more than this mix. So I like the radio mix more than the album version. So they did that a
Right.
lot back then. Salute,
Right.
salute to salute Jason. Salute, bro. Hip hop Jedi's in the building.
Hey, peace,
Uh,
Jason. Peace, peace.
Rocco, you want to go next?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, so my fifth pick is from the Stillmatic album.
Okay.
And if you know that, you know where I'm going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second Childhood.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Number one, man, like when Nas, mentions, like the son in his 30s still watching Good Times.
Right.
You know, I know people that are just like that.
Mhm.
That they don't do nothing. All they do is just lay around the house and just, you know, watch TV, get drunk,
Right.
and pretty much, don't do anything to improve their lives. And uh, it's a very mellow and slow tempo groove,
Mm.
and I feel like Preem, his scratches are all they always add to the story that Nas is telling,
Right.
and um, and I feel like um, Primo, like he always maintain those core elements, you know,
Yeah.
hard, crack, snare, and a thumping,
Mm.
kick drum. But just the elements that he added throughout that song, I felt like he added a lot of to the narrative that Nas was forming around, people that have arrested development,
Right.
and it is and is definitely one of the best songs from Stillmatic, and um, I don't know if Nas still performs the song live. Do y'all know?
I never, I've never heard him perform it live. I don't think I've ever heard, like, and I've never seen him live. Like there was I almost had a chance to see him live in '96 when we had the city gave a like spontaneous free public rap show at that time in '96, and it was unheard of back then. And it was like our hip hop version of Woodstock. They call it Hoodstock, and it was in
Mhm.
Harlem. And Nas was supposed to be the headliner, but supposedly he got caught in traffic. He couldn't make it, and Wu Tang ended up closing out the show. What happened was when they were closing out the show, there was a shootout, and there was a guy from upstate New York that had a gun. He pulled out the gun and started shooting in the air, and it was a stampede in Harlem. A lot of kids, a lot of parents and people got injured, and I was up there because my aunt was working up there at the time, and me and my cousin that went up there for the show. But we saw a lot of legends that day. I saw Big Pun that day. He was the Punisher. They performed Firewater with Fat Joe and Raekwon. I saw Slick Rick and KRS One. The Bad Boy roster was out there. Biggie and Craig Mack, Junior Mafia, 112 Total. A lot of legends, but it ended up in a tragic event. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only time that I knew it going in that I was gonna see Nas, and I didn't see him. But I never like made it to like the Mary and Nas tour, like the Wu Tang and Nas tour. But I do want to see Nas at some point.
Mm.
But I don't think he performed second. I never seen him perform Second Childhood before. Like there's like a lot of like joints that he has that I never seen him like perform. Like watching a concert of him or anything.
Yeah, he has an embarrassment of riches
Yeah,
at his disposal, and that's how great Nas is that he can afford not to perform, a song
right.
that is held in so much esteem as as a second childhood.
Mhm. I would love for him to do like a B-sides tour. Like how Jay did like that whole B-sides concert where he was performing like the album cuts and B-sides that the fans loved. I would love to see Nas do something like that.
If Nas were to do like Foul Breeze,
Right. Like
oh
that.
my God.
Or do rags or you gotta love it. Like joints that people know from like the mixtape era and like the stuff that leaked from like the original double album. I think that would be great.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think, like I've compiled uh like a playlist on my computer,
Yeah.
my own versions of albums based on those outtakes,
Right.
and they are just as good as any released album that
Mhm.
Nas has ever done.
I agree. Definitely. So that's your number five.
Yeah.
Well, my number five is the same thing. It's Second Childhood.
Yes.
Um, it is like an ode to like youth culture and like people who can't get over their childhood. Now I have a little pushback on that because like we see now in this day and age of like especially like on social media and when it comes to like a lot of content creators, a lot of their platforms are like dedicated to their childhood. So it's like I don't feel like you ever really get over your childhood. You know what I'm saying? But I like with the things Nas was talking about in on his song. I understand, you know, uh, uh, what he was saying when it comes to like the guy being at home and he got out of jail. He has a jail record. He's breaking his mother's furniture, watching Comic View. You got the you,
That image in my head just made me laugh.
yeah, like it's visual. Like you can hear, you can see what he's saying when it comes to these people. Like he talked about the guy, he talked about the girl, acting immature, and she's talking loud in the street and she cursing people out, and she going from guy to guy, and you know what I'm saying. So that's something that's still going on now in today's society. You know what I'm saying. So um, I definitely felt like that was a song that was needed, for our people, just in general. I don't want to just say for our people, but for everybody, for society. And it's something that's still going on now. And I love the beat from Primo. The bass line was fire. The actual beat was fire on it, and that was like one of my favorite songs on Stillmatic. Like Stillmatic, like this is a classic album.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when this came out, like the hype was real for this album when it was coming out because we knew like this is after the Blueprint drops and him and Nas and Jay's going at it, and Ether was on here. And when we heard Ether, like I-97 played that like all day, every day. Like that was the song. I'm like, this is the best battle song ever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when this album came out, I'm like, yo, it was so many great songs on here. Like, Rewind was like one of my favorites. The way that he told that story in reverse, and then you had Second Childhood, and you had Ether, and Got Yourself a Gun, and it's so many great songs off of
And don't
Stillmatic.
forget Destroy and Rebuild, where
Yes,
he he took the belt out and just
yes,
verbally, gave a tongue lashing
yeah,
to Cormega.
yeah,
Like,
yes,
but I don't think it changed anybody's opinion about checking out Cormega's album.
right,
That came out in '01. I think it was,
mhm,
wasn't it? The Realness.
yeah. Yeah, like
It was
I
on Land
remember
Speed.
I remember I remember Mega from Dead Man Walking when he had the Def Jam deal, and then that single comes out, and then they put out the video, but then I think they showed his album or something, so I didn't hear from him until like years later. But even during that time, like the mixtapes were like leaking and stuff from the album to the streets. I remember hearing Killer's Theme with Mobb Deep. I'm like, yo, this shit is phenomenal. There needs to be a video for that.
Yeah, and during the film, were you a Cormega person or were you a Nature person?
Oh, Mega for sure. Like I didn't know who Nature was. Like I remember seeing Firm Biz video, and he's in it, and I'm like, who the hell is that? And this is like before that, like this is before I got the internet. I didn't get the internet till like 98, 98, 99. So I'm like watching the video. I'm like, who the hell is that? Like who's that with Nas and AZ and Foxy Brown? I'm like, I don't know who Nature was. So he came out of nowhere. I feel like that was like the wrong debut for him to put him like out of nowhere to put him on that album, and nobody knows who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? But we're looking at like, yo, like where's Mega? And then we find out later that Mega, I think he had a falling out with Steve Stout or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, the firm to me is with Cormega. I mean, even though he was on the album, but he wasn't a part of the group at that time. And I feel like that was like one of the downfalls of that firm album.
Like if you compare it to baseball, it's
Uh-huh.
like like Mega not being in the batting lineup
Right.
one through nine, and you got somebody from AAA
Right. Right. It's almost like
batting second.
if you have like if you have like the Yankees lineup and you have Mega batting DH, but he's not in the field, but Nature is taking his place. Like, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that was like one of the glaring mistakes that they made with that firm album was having Nature at the forefront, and we don't know who the hell he is at that point. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
yeah, so like I was a huge Mega fan at that time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like Nas went at him.
And I think for a lot of people, it was probably the first time hearing Nas have like a little mean streak because
Yeah.
Nas was like he was tearing Cormega a new one,
Right.
and he said something about if my memory serves me correctly, saying like you're not even from like you might as well be from Brooklyn or something.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, bro.
like I don't know, like you would know better than me about the hood politics of New York, but
I mean,
it must have meant something in order for him to.
yeah. I mean, like like Wu-Tang. Like, see, originally when Wu-Tang comes out, everybody thinks that all the members were from Shaolin, and they're not. You had ODB, Master Killer. Master Killer's from my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You had ODB. You had Methods from Long Island. You had different members from different boroughs. So like that was like a misconception about Wu that not all Wu members were from Staten Island. Salute to Back to the Lab. What up, bro? And that was the misconception about Wu-Tang. So when it would be like if you look at the West Coast, right? a lot of those rappers ain't from the West. Like Exhibit is not from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg is from Mississippi, and he moved later to California, to Long Beach. You know
Corrupt
what I'm
from Philly.
saying? Uh,
Corrupt from Philly.
right. Corrupt from Philly, right? You know what I'm saying? You had a Lady of Rage from Virginia. So, but you know, that I feel like when Nas said that about Mega, that's what it was. It was like you're not even from Queensbridge, you from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know that was like a huge diss. Like when somebody said like if you were telling people like you was from somewhere like Spice One, like exactly Spice One is from Texas, right? But he claims the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So we know him from California. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it's like if you was coming out and claiming one area, but people knew you from another area, it was like yo, like you fronting like Vanilla Ice. And he came out, he said he was from Miami, but
That was the
he's from
extreme version.
yeah, right. He was claiming he's from Miami, but he's from Texas. You know what I'm saying? So that was like a huge thing when he came out, and he sold 1 million records. So he was playing the field with him.
But I think it says a lot about. I think, and also I think what Nas was getting at is that it says a lot about a person's character when they're not proud of where they come from.
Right.
And to me, that was like the subtext.
Right. Yeah. And remember at that time it was like yo, Nas was going at Jay, he was going at Dipset, he was going at State Property, he was going at Mega. And then when he got on Hot 97, he called out Nori. He was I think he said something like Nori don't
Step
make
your
good
rap
albums.
game up.
Yeah, like and I agree because I mean for me I always felt like Nori as a solo artist, his first album was the best album. His other albums didn't sell and he didn't have that same buzz for the other projects like when NOLE came out in '98.
And also when Nas made that comment, what album did Nori put out around that time?
He came out with NOLE.
Yeah, that was '98, but in
Hmm.
2000 he put out that
Oh,
Melvin
he came
Flint.
out with was it
Melvin Flint.
Melvin Flint, that's right. That was the second album.
and,
I was thinking of
Nori, mhm.
God's Favorite. My bad. God's Favorite was later.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was in 2002,
Yeah.
and that was the album on Def Jam.
Right.
But Nori couldn't really say anything because he said it himself that Melvin Flint flopped and his heart wasn't really in it.
Right.
So I think around that time, Nas hit a lot of sore spots with a lot of rappers, and it felt like Nas was like he was trying to defend his castle while it was burning.
Yeah.
People taking shots at him, and it was pretty much him, with his lone, rifle, taking out any moving target that he felt was coming for his throne. And that was from Jay, from Cam,
Right.
Mobb Deep, Mega.
Facts. Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's my number 5, Second Childhood, phenomenal track. I think it should have been a single. Mojo, what's your number 4?
Cool. Yeah, my number 4 is we're staying with Illmatic.
Okay.
And I got Memory Lane.
Ooh.
I love that track.
Yeah.
I know I had a feeling there was going to be some good overlap with our tracks on this, but I felt like maybe this one you guys might have left off
Right.
for whatever reason. But for me, it's just like really my vibe, just kind of like those good vibes, like
Yeah.
good vibes, good bars, easy listening.
Yeah.
And yeah, just overall out of all the the Primo Nas tracks, this is probably the one with like the best vibes in terms
Right.
of just kind of chilling back, sitting
Right.
on a park bench, chilling back. That's what it's all about,
Yeah, I do feel like Memory Lane to me was like the underrated track on Illmatic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do feel like it was slept on, even though like there's people that love it, but
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it got the praise like the big singles that came out, like One Love or The World Is
Right.
Yours. It ain't hard to tell, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Memory Lane was definitely it was a good vibe record. You know, he's talking about his growing up in Queensbridge, and I loved it. I thought it like the beat and the melody was fire.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, my top three are all interchangeable. Like they really could be my number one on any given day, but my 4 and 5, which were Memory Lane and Represent, those were also interchangeable as my 4 and 5. So nothing really more to be said. Just a great track. And just like you said, in terms of Illmatic, probably one of the most slept on tracks because it doesn't have any like shock, there's no shock value with it. It's good vibes, and it's a little bit kind of against the grain on the other themes in the album.
Thanks.
But I love it personally.
Yeah.
So
Raka, what's your number 4? Yeah, number 4.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
No, great.
I wanted to make sure that Mojo was done talking.
You good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, my number 4 is from the I Am album, and it's definitely was a man. It was a burner, everywhere. Nas is like, and if I had to, like, the verses 1 and 3 are tied for my favorites. Like like 1 and 3 to me, they're so good. Like they could be like one long ass verse, and I would be happy with it. This is going to sound strange, but just lyrically, this could be my number 1,
right?
Because there are so many quotable lines in this song, some that have been referenced by other rappers.
Right.
From freedom of jail, clips inserted, a baby's being born, same time a man is murdered, the beginning and end. Like, how many times have we heard those lines said by other rappers? And one of my favorite lines on Rooftops: take CD covers to trees, line the barrel up with your weak picture and squeeze. Like that's that's an ill metaphor for just waiting for the day when you can get rid of a whack MC, whether on wax or whether in person. But as far as Primo's contribution to the song, is it's very high on energy. The bass, like a lot of the bass notes, it hits with the kick, and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? But it's a song where you really go,
catchy.
Yeah, like it's something where you listen to it and you zone out and you start to get in your own world, because because Nas, he'll mention things that are obscure or maybe esoteric, something that you're not going to hear in rap very often.
Right.
Like mentioning Greeks in Egypt, learning something deep from their teachers. Like he's not just talking about street life.
Right.
Like he's not just talking about I shoot you, gun you down, selling bricks on the block. Like he can talk about those things, but expand the scope of those kind of topics. So all in all, Nas is an absolutely great song. I don't know if he performs Nas like in concert,
Yeah,
but
he still does. He
Oh
still does
yeah.
that.
he
Oh yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't imagine how he would not perform this song and he not expected to go over.
Yeah.
Facts. I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
man.
Amazing track.
Definitely. My number 4 is Represent. Definitely a classic record from the Illmatic album. Classic album. To me, it's like the hip hop Bible of all time. Um, I love the beat. I love the melody and you know the input in the background from Nas's crew and Jungle. You hear Jungle on it as well, and you know the horns on it was fire, and he's saying, you know, this nigga raps with a razor, keep it under my tongue, the school dropout, never liked the shit from day one. Loved his verses on that, and it was just a solid track and a strong album cut, and it's always been one of my favorite records, my favorite Primo records on Illmatic. And yo, it was, and that's the remix. I gotta hear the OG
Yeah.
OG joint, but that's the remix itself just sound fire. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's a bang.
It'll always be. It's funny when like if you hear a remix first, like you
Yeah,
think of it as the original, you know, and
right,
when you hear the original before the remix, you know,
right,
you'll think of that as the original. So it's like
right.
whichever one you hear first is the one that
That,
in your head is like, oh, that's the original, you know, just for you.
bro, back in '94 when Juicy comes out for Big, and then we heard the Pete Rock version. Pete Rock joint is the actual OG mix, right?
hmm
And
hmm
of course, Puff never paid Pete for the beat, and I don't know what happened. Is like they ended up putting Pete Rock's version as the remix on the Juicy single, but that
hmm
was the joint they were playing alongside the M2 made sampled single that's out. You know what I'm saying? And I know the M2
Yeah.
made joint. My mom was playing Juicy Fruit when I was a kid, so I already knew the
hmm
M2 made record. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, Biggie sample M2 made. Everybody loved it, but then when we hear the Pete Rock joint, it's a little bit faster, a different beat. And I'm like, yo, I love the remix, but many years later, we find out like, oh, this is the actual OG mix. But of course, Puffy didn't pay Pete Rock for the beat. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It kind of
Yeah.
changes things now because we always looked at it like that's the remix, but it's actually in all actuality that's the OG mix.
Yeah. For sure.
You know. Um. Okay. We had number 3. Okay. Raka, what's your? We had number 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or if we want
Raka,
to stay in the same
did you say your
order,
number 4?
then I got to do my number 3.
Okay, Raka, what's your number 4?
No, he already said it. It was
Oh, you said your number 4?
Yeah, my
yeah.
number 4 was
It
Nas
was
is like.
Nas's like.
That's right. Okay, and you all right, and you did your 4, right?
Yep. So
All right,
yeah.
so we have to.
Now we're on my 3.
Yes, okay, we up to your 3. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So for my top 3, these are all, like I said, 10 out of 10 for
Right.
me. So we're gonna hop to his sophomore album. It was written, and I got the song "I Gave You Power."
Ooh,
You know, definitely, I could see a lot of people putting that as their number 1. And like I
yep,
said, on any given day, maybe I'll put it at my number 1
yep,
as well. But these last 3 songs, 1, 2, and 3, they all could be my number 1. But
right.
I got it at my number 3. Just flawless song, incredible storytelling. Like
Mhm.
it just everything that I'm about to say, it's already been said before. Like everyone knows that it's
Right,
one of the
right,
best storytelling tracks of all time. It's it's
right.
just if you want to introduce someone to Nas, you could show them like 20 different songs, but this is one of them that you could show, and
Yeah,
just that showcases his lyrical ability, his storytelling ability, and to get Primo, on the beat is just again is what raises it up even
right.
more so and makes it that gold standard 10 out of 10 track.
Definitely. I agree.
Yep.
All right, Raka, what's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is my first selection from Illmatic. and uh, my pick is also the track that comes after Genesis.
Okay.
So if you know that, if you know Matic, you know where I'm going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
New York State of Mind.
Yes.
It's I know that it's probably a lot of people. Yes,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know that a lot of people might be baffled by me picking New York State of Mind
I
at
was
number
I was thinking
three.
that, but I was like, hey, it's your top three. But I was thinking, I'm like, you got New York State of Mind at number three.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay.
So so if I have New York State of Mind at number three,
Mhm.
that means that the remaining two have to be just as great.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously, I feel that they're great if they're below if New York State of Mind is at number three, then the other songs that I picked I felt were stronger.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I'm like this is like the creme de la creme.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
And what I truly marvel at is just how unsure Nas sounded like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because like I get the picture that this might have been Nas's first time in the studio with Premiere.
Right.
So so Nas is leaning on Premiere's experience around the studio to get the best performance out of him.
Mhm.
And uh, uh, and when you hear Nas say, "I don't know how to start this shit," Primo said that when he was in the control room, he tried to make eye contact with Nas,
Mhm.
so that once they meet eye contact, Primo can let him know when exactly to start rapping.
Right.
And once Nas started rapping, he must to me it feels like he was rapping off of a mix of adrenaline
Mhm.
and anxiety. The
Right.
adrenaline, the natural thrill of rhyming and getting your rhyme on tape
Mhm.
The
by
hunger.
Primo. Yeah, the hunger exactly,
Right.
and also the anxiety that I have to do great because I cannot have this man's time's wasted, meaning DJ Premier, and I
Yeah.
have to prove that I belong in rap. I belong in the upper echelons of rap music. You know, first rapper to get a major record deal since MC Shan. That clearly meant something. So that hunger that Mojo talked about, it was palpable. You know, in the intro and musically, Primo expertly sampled the upright, bass line and filtered it,
Mhm.
through the MPC and the way that he uh, uh, made that beat very sinister. It was kind of bone chilling, and it captured the song title.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
like I don't live. I'm not from New York. I've only I've seen movies about about New York, but but just listening to that song,
Yeah.
it actually feels
Yeah.
like a scary journey at night, walking the streets of New York and not knowing if you're going to make it back home in one piece.
Right. Facts.
So if that was Nas's, objective to capture that, he did a great job.
It definitely captures, at least for me, it captures the city, and the subway, the tall buildings, the attitude of New York. It captures all of that in this song. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I never heard nobody say that he sounded. Um, you said he sounded nervous, or I forgot what the word you used.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was saying during the intro.
Uh-huh.
Cause if you listen to New York State of Mind,
Right.
before he rhymes, like he makes some off the mic, comments to himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to start this shit. But Primo said when he saw that Nas was unsure of where to start rhyming, as far as like what beat to
Mm.
go on,
Right.
Primo had to get his attention by waving to him to let him know exactly where on the beat he should start rhyming at.
Right.
And once he did it, he took off and never looked
So
back.
that's
So,
that's
yeah,
mm, that's back when you had to actually be in the studio with the producer, with the musician. Not email tracks back and forth to each other. Like they had to actually be in the same studio and having that eye contact, and Primo being a conductor and telling him like, yo, like I want you to do your first verse after this. When the beat drops, you do it, and I'm gonna make that eye contact with you. Like I'm gonna give you alley oop, and you better
Yeah.
slam dunk it home. And this is the first song on the album after the intro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So can you imagine if he had messed that up?
you just like, and I'm glad you brought that up
Mm,
because everybody has a home studio now,
right.
right? Like anybody could record from their phone, could record from a Mac,
Mm,
program, but a recording studio in and of itself was damn near be akin to making it to the NBA for a rapper
right.
because probably like aside from making pause tapes or just rhyming over instrumentals, like being in a studio was the ticket to being in the industry,
Right.
because that's where you make all your connects with people that can help you progress throughout the music industry. And Nas was what, 18 years old, 19 years old,
Yeah.
and he has all of his talent and he possesses all of this natural musical and lyrical inclination.
Mhm.
But if if he could not deliver, and of course it was Primo's job to capture the best performance out of Nas.
Right.
But if Nas did not have that jolt, to kick it into full gear, we may
Mhm.
not even be speaking about Nas in 2025.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I always felt like Illmatic is what really made him who he is now. I mean, people could say it was written. I feel, of course, there's people now that say like it was written better. I don't know if it was written. Let's say he never made Illmatic and it was written, it was like the first album. I don't know if he would still be where he's at now based on that album. I feel like Illmatic set the proper like jump off for him in his career, and him us seeing how he transitioned from Illmatic to It Was Written, and even with his career, like the changes where he went from Queensbridge and then he got rich when It Was Written drops, and you know what I'm saying, and I felt like that was like his thriller album. That was like the shit that put him on the map forever. Like Illmatic is that one album. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I looked at Thriller. Like people say Off the Wall was better. I'm like, yeah, but Off the Wall didn't make Michael a icon. It was Thriller. You know what I'm saying? Thriller is the one that made him a rock and roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Off the Wall was like the end of the disco era album.
Yeah, and you mentioned what if Nas had not recorded Illmatic and his
Mhm.
career began with
It
It
was
Was
written.
Written?
Right.
If his career began with It Was Written, he would have been on a more level playing field. And what I mean by that is
Mhm.
look at his other major contemporary around that time, Biggie.
Right.
When Biggie put out Ready to Die, that was his debut album.
Hmm.
And he had so many hit singles on that album. And Biggie still retained that raw, authentic street feel.
Right.
It Was Written did the same for Nas.
Hmm.
So if It Was Written was Nas's debut album, people will be comparing It Was Written to Ready to Die instead of It Was Written to Reasonable Doubt.
I
Does that
agree.
make sense?
I agree. I agree. Jason said that it was written, so he was a real one. Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was real even from Illmatic. Back then when in '96 when that came out, there was people saying, he switched up, he changed, he's more mainstream. But I didn't look at it like that. I just felt like, okay, he got a little money now, even though like Illmatic didn't sell like platinum status, but he got the respect from the hip hop community, and he, at that time it's like the not even the Jiggy era. It was like we're going into like the Versace wearing, Coogee wearing era. Biggie was doing that, and yet many others, and I felt like Nas adapted to the times, but he still kept his lyrical ability on the second album, and it was like a mafioso album. It was still street, it was still rugged, but then you had your joints with Lauryn Hill and JoJo from Jodeci, and you know what I mean, but it was still Nas at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just out of. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, coming from, I think I have an interesting perspective on it, just because, well, first off, I'm super open minded, and I love hearing all this stuff that you guys are saying.
Right.
It really gives me a feel for it. But just coming from someone who wasn't there at that time, so you could say, almost an outsider's perspective,
Right.
and looking at Illmatic, and It Was Written just solely based on like which one musically sounds best, taking away all the impact to the culture, taking away this is the debut, this is the sophomore, taking all that away.
Mhm.
I'm one of those people that enjoys It Was Written more than Illmatic.
Right.
And of course, that's taking away like the cultural impact. I understand that Illmatic is the superior album because it's the album, but just in terms of musical, like just in terms of a listening experience as an album, I would lean towards It Was Written personally. So I think it's just cool to hear that perspective from someone who, because I didn't even have the chance to listen to it in order, because I was just a little kid when that came out, so I wasn't listening to that. So I listened to it, 10, 15 years later.
Right. So your introduction to Nas would be what, like Stillmatic?
I Am.
I Am, okay.
Yeah.
That was a great album. And I feel like that never really got the proper respect because of it was leaked. It was supposed to be like a double album with Nostradamus, and
yeah.
I feel like on its own, without the double album, I think it's one of his best albums.
Yeah, the first Nas song, I mean, I don't know if it was the first song I heard, but the first Nas song I got really into was "Hate Me Now."
I love it, but of course with Puffy, we knew it was commercial. The whole thing with Puff, the feud with Puff and Steve Stout, and the video he wanted the video off of MTV, and but I like the song. I understand what Nas is doing, but even without that song, like the tracks on there, Nas is like, and We Will Survive, and Money Is My Bitch. I love all those songs.
Yeah,
I think so.
And I'm just saying that was the first song I think I ever heard from Nas. Right. So of course, like back then it was different. It was like I just heard it on YouTube. I put it on my iPod, and and I put it right in with Ambitions as a Rider and all the other tracks that would get me hyped for my baseball games. So
nice.
Yeah,
man. All right, we had number two.
If I just want to show something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I bought this at White's Music Plus, a record store that was around my house. And I remember there was so much more promotion around this album than Illmatic.
Yeah.
So much so that when I would go to the mall, like when you go to the mall, there's like the food court, there's like Foot Locker, there's like hat, the hat shop. You got
Yes.
the sports, the shop that sells sport apparel.
Uh-huh.
Yo, when I went in there and I heard them blasting, um, uh, shit, the song with Lauryn Hill.
Oh, If I Was a World.
When I heard that, if I rule the world,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like he really is, batting, batting for, a home run
Right.
Yeah.
because I when I heard if I rule the world, the sound, it was clearly more polished. But what he was talking about was just as socially conscious as anything from Illmatic.
Right.
Yeah.
So when people talk about, well, Nas sold out, with this album,
Mm.
I think what they're really
Yeah.
talking about is that the aesthetic that they were used to on Illmatic,
Right.
being in the projects, being around his boys,
Right.
not having, pretty much, living, hand to mouth, and
Mm.
now he's, he's looking like a king. He has,
Yeah.
finer threads, driving better cars.
Right.
I think that's what they were kind of opposed to,
Right.
and I think
Mhm.
that might say more about the audience more than
Yeah, for sure.
the person that made the art, which is Nas,
Right.
Yeah.
because if because all of us, once we heard uh, it was written, did any of us feel like, man, what the fuck is Nas
Yeah.
doing? Like, man, come on,
I
like,
did.
no,
I just, yeah. Like I just said, a great word that you used was it. It was like Illmatic, but like a little bit more polished. Like you said, it was just what do you want from an artist? Not to evolve. Like it's just
Mhm.
Yeah.
then people would be hating saying that he's
You know why?
one
Because it's like
sided.
when we see Hammer was like one of the biggest at that time to do it and to go super mainstream to the point where it ruined his career, right? And I think that was like people was afraid, like you don't want to see Nas go down that road where he's like overexposed and he start doing Taco Bell commercials and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I felt like at that time, being that the music was the climate was changing for rap, that for his lyricism, he's not gonna go too left field, but he's gonna at least try to get some radio play. And I feel
Yeah.
like Lauryn Hill at that time, '96, the score comes out, that was their best album. You know what I'm saying? And people
Yeah.
respected the Fugees at that time. So I think that was like a nice business move, if anything, to
Yeah.
get Lauryn Hill on that song with them. And then,
Yeah.
having Dre on there and having JoJo from Jodeci on Black Girl Lost, that was great. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, like I loved it. I didn't have no problem with the. I think it's just the imagery of him going from the Timbs and the army jackets to
Right.
the
Right.
suits, and he's rocking the jewelry, and I think that's what it was the imagery we see. It was like it wasn't lining up, but you know what I'm saying. But I'm like, in at the end of the day, it was a 5-man classic.
and
Yeah.
I would say, were those people that objected to uh, the aesthetic of it was written, would they have preferred if Nas had the fate of Big L?
There you got that too, right? And it's not like even if you look at the video for if I Were the World, there's still parts in that video where he's at Queensbridge. So it's not like he just went off and he didn't go to Disney World or anything. Like he's still in the hood. It's just that you know, like he's on a flatbed truck with Lauryn Hill and he doing his thing. And I'm like, that was like a image of success for him. You know what I'm saying? Like he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Especially
And
when.
For sure.
and in the video where they show shots of people in the projects,
Right.
you see people of various ages and uh, leading different lives. Like you see an old man and an old woman, probably an older couple, just walking, through the project just walking through the park. You
Right.
see kids playing, on the playground. You know, you see, Nas's homies just, sitting, sitting on the bench, just building. So you're seeing people leading different lives,
Yeah.
and it's not like he, didn't want to, you know, keep to his roots,
Right.
but there's more to the black experience than just being in the projects, and I think that is that has been like the push and pull of Nas throughout his career, of all of his albums. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree. My number three is Nas's Like from I Am. I love this song. This was the first single, that Primo took samples from John Ridgegren and Bob Always. What Child Is This? He also took samples from Bird Chirps from Don Robertson's Why and a vocal sample from Biz Marquis' Nobody Beats the Biz. Classic record. Rest in peace to Biz Marquis. I love the beat. I love the bass line. Everything about this was fire from the beat drop in the beginning to when Nas hits the mic.
Yep.
The video was dope and like I said, like I always thought that I Am was a classic album. I think it's heavily slept on. You know, I look at I Am like Jay-Z's Volume One. I feel like Volume One was his most slept on album in his discography, and I think I Am, double album or not, I think it was a solid album on its own, and I love it. I think it was a great first single and one of my favorite Primo Nas collabs. So
Yeah.
Mojo, what's your number two?
My number two was just said, New York State of Mind.
Okay.
So, I'll repeat it again. My top three, all interchangeable. So, but today I got New York State of Mind. And, we talked a lot about it. The one thing that I just wanted to add to it was something that you put into my head was it's very like cinematic and thematic, and it paints that imagery in your head, so you're right there with it. And it's just incredible. And we already talked a lot about it, so don't need to go on and on. But New York State of Mind, 10 out of 10. Could be number one on any other given day, but today I got it number two.
Okay, Raka, what's your number two?
Well, my number two is from It Was Written. You know what song I'm talking about? The only song that Primo produced for Nas.
Yes.
I Gave You Power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I when I listened to I Gave You Power, it's such a great detailed song about the effects of gun violence, but him, like in the second verse, at the beginning of the second verse, where he's describing the human anatomy to describe parts of a firearm, and it's very descriptive, and it's very it feels very informative, like he has a clear message about this topic.
Right.
And when I think about Nas, like Nas reminds me, well, Nas has cited Gil Scott-Heron as a musical influence.
Right.
Gil Scott-Heron had a song called Gun from 1981.
I think I have that album. Is that on the Reflections album?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that album.
It is.
Yeah, that was a great album.
Yeah, and I think this was. I think he was still with the Midnight Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also performs this song on Black Wax, which was it's like a concert film, but it has like vignettes, during the concert. But anyway, Gil Scott-Heron, he talked about how gun violence was affecting Black people, particularly in concentrated ghettos,
Right.
throughout the country. And he mentioned Ronald Reagan. And I have a feeling that Nas probably listened to this song
Mm.
and took some inspiration from it, because it's, he talks about, like, in the first verse, he mentioned how, he's been smuggled from Ohio to Little Rock to Canarsie. I didn't even know where Canarsie was from, but I knew it was a place.
Yeah. There's a Canarsie, Brooklyn. There's an area in Brooklyn named Canarsie.
See, I didn't know that, and
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Nas was informing his listeners,
Hmm.
and making them curious about, the world, about the world beyond where they lived.
Right.
So um, it's a very powerful statement that is universal, it's everlasting. This song will always be relevant,
Yeah.
because um, it's not just about violence; it's about the kind of violence. From street violence to genocide that's happening in other countries. And he, whenever I listen to this song, I don't. I listen. I sing. I sing to the lyrics, but when I listen to it, I'm thinking about you know certain memories that it may uh, trigger, as far as like what I've read, what I've
Right.
seen. So um, this is I gave you power. Bottom line is, it could be, not only could it be the greatest Nas song,
Mm.
but it could also be the greatest rap song ever written.
Right. I agree.
No pun
Yep.
intended.
Supposedly there was rumors of not, I don't want to say rumors, but supposedly there's a backstory that Young Noble from the Outlaws, rest in peace to Young Noble. Young Noble from the Outlaws said that Tupac was actually influenced by this record to make Me and My Girlfriend on the Machiavelli album. Remember, Machiavelli came out the same year as this album. It was written drops in July, I believe, July 2nd that came out, and then Machiavelli dropped after Tupac died in September, right? So supposedly Pac was inspired by this record to do Me and My Girlfriend, which
Mm,
I thought that song was about him and his an actual girlfriend that he was talking about his gun as well on that record.
hmm
You know what
That,
I'm saying?
and also, the recording sessions for Machiavelli took place in August of '96. So
Mm-hmm.
it was already
Already
released.
out. Yeah.
And um, as far as like Me and My Girlfriend, the energy the energy behind Me and My Girlfriend was different than um, I Gave You Power. Like, I Gave You Power was written like in the, I think in the literary world, is it like the second, uh, in the second person, where
First
you
person.
like first person,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like he's writing as an observer of what gun violence is doing around the world that he lives in.
Right.
Whereas with Me and My Girlfriend, Tupac is rhyming as the personification of guns and relishing causing uh, 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 carnage, with guns.
Right.
No,
And
you know what I'm saying? Like, it
yeah.
felt like Me and My Girlfriend was more him relishing in causing harm, whereas with I Gave You Power was like a rumination of what guns is causing to the community at large.
Right. And would you say that Nas was maybe influenced by another record like this, the Straight Bullet song from the Confusion album?
I believe so,
Yeah.
because Straight Bullet is very gripping. Like it's a song that's not for the faint at heart.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Nas is a hip hop head, and Nas definitely respects Pharoah Monch. So when you look at the parallels between those three songs, Straight Bullet, I Gave You Power, Me and My Girlfriend. All of these songs, what they have in common is very artful ways of talking about gun violence in various ways and through different literary perspectives.
Salute to Ultramag. Go follow him on YouTube and follow his on Instagram as well. Great hip hop head. Much respect, Ultramag. Thank you for showing coming through. I'm gonna tell you, like, this is my number two is I Gave You Power, but I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't when I first bought the album, I didn't like the song. You know? Like I had my favorites
Mhm.
when I first heard it was written. It was the message because of the way that it started. It was
Mhm.
If I Rule the World, the setup, affirmative action. I had my favorites already, but I didn't realize what Nas was actually rhyming about till like later on. And then I had
Yeah.
to like go back to the song. I'm like, oh shit, he's talking about being a gun, and I totally like it totally like went over my head when I heard it. But it's become like probably my favorite song from It Was Written Down. Like so many years
Mm,
later, and
mm,
I love the beat. The beat is fire, and it still has like a somber melody to it, and just the things that Nas visually again, like you can visually see what he's rhyming about, and I've always felt like they needed a video for this. Like even if it wasn't him actually in the video, they could have like an animated video,
yeah. Yeah.
and just like with every bar, you see like the animation and what he's talking about. I think that would have been a great video for this record, and you know, gun violence is always going to be here, so it's always going to be a timeless record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just a part of society, but that record is fire, and so,
You know,
you know, mm,
I would love to ask KRS-One if if there a song by another artist that you wish you would have written, and
mm,
a part of me thinks he would have said, "I gave you power,"
right,
because like that to me that sounds like something that's from the Blast Master
hmm,
arsenal.
right.
Like very thought provoking. You know, uh, to me, what it would sound like. It wouldn't sound out of place on Sex and Violence, BDP's last album.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, cause KRS, he's done tracks like Black Cop, he's done tracks like Sound of the Police. He was a part of that whole hip hop, various artists project for Abnormal Rima. Not Abnormal Rima, Diallo.
Mumia Abu Jamal.
Amadou Diallo when he got gunned down, like I think it was like 51 times they shot him in the back,
Mhm.
and that was like a big, and then those cops got off. You know what I'm saying? So that was like a big thing within the community, and he's always been for our people. I could definitely see him doing a song like this.
Yeah, like yeah, I would love to pick Karis One's brain about this song,
Yeah,
and um, and I remember around this time there was so much furor around so-called gangster rap, among C. Dolores Tucker,
right.
Calvin Butts, a lot of religious leaders, and looking back, they had a lot of good points, but I would sometimes like with the spectacle, like the spectacle can obscure what's truly integral to any art form. So my point is like a song like I Gave You Power, they could listen to this song
Mhm.
and being like, you know what, we may not like the language that you're using, but but we appreciate you writing a song that's addressing these issues to an audience that needs to hear it.
But they picked out certain artists to demonstrate. Oh, this is the bad rap. What about the artists like Paris? What about the artists like Ice Cube and Public Enemy and poor righteous teachers, the ones that had the positivity in rap at that time. They didn't focus on that. They focused on, the gangster rap. We got to get the gangster rap out, and did that whole demonstration in Times Square. And I just think that was stupid.
It's kind of like Wall Street. Like if gangster rap is the stock that is selling at thousands of dollars in stock price on the Nasdaq, and you got you know Karis One, you got the Coupe, you got Paris, you got Common.
Mhm.
That's not that doesn't have a lot of uh, stock value. How about putting your money behind that stock and trying to increase its value so that it can become more valuable, you know, in the culture
Right.
over time.
I agree. Mhm. So I mean, we already knew what that was. That was like a power play to show the world, like, oh, rap is not here to stay, and all they do is talk about bitches and guns and sex, and that's entirely not the case. You know what I'm saying? And what they should have done was focus on the positivity that was going on in hip hop at that time. You know what I'm saying? But they just wanted to focus on the negative. I'm like, what is all this for? Because like that's not gonna stop us from listening to it, because we see it a lot. Some of us live in bad neighborhoods and we see it every day of our lives. So it's like when we hear NWA, we live in it. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't make no sense for them to like do that whole thing and steamroll over certain albums. I'm like, that's stupid.
I'll even take it a step further. In the communities that we lived, there are just as many liquor stores as there are churches.
Right.
So, in my opinion, the socioeconomic factors, those things affect our day to day lives more than any uh, any album ever could.
Right.
So if you can, create businesses that are actually going to help a community thrive, you know, like uh, like hospitals, you know, like like schools, anything that like anything that's not in the black community but is readily available in suburban communities.
Right.
Those are the things that need to be put in infrastructure in these areas, so you don't have rappers rhyme about the things that you object to.
I agree. All right. We got to the number one spot on the top five Nas Primo tracks of all time. Give us your number one song, Mojo.
All right, my number one. It's been mentioned by both of you guys,
Okay.
and it is Nas is like. Nas is like.
Nice.
Yeah, man. You
Good
know,
pick.
it's that was the one I was feeling the most when I was just doing my re-listen through.
Right.
I was just just perfect. I mean, all these last tracks that we mentioned, I gave you power. It was in all our top three. You
Yeah.
guys both had it at 2. I had it at 3. Could have easily been my 2 or 1.
Right.
Probably same for you guys. And so it just shows how good it is.
Yeah.
Nas is like also was in all of our top 4s. So it just shows how good a track it is. So it's really showing that these lists that we put together, it's really showing that there is kind of cohesion with it, and there is an understanding from different people, different times in their life that they heard it and everything, that okay, these are the top tracks. But yeah, Nas is like, I mean, just completely flawless in my opinion. Just man, that beat is like what the beat, the
Mhm.
hook, and then Nas just absolutely destroys
Right.
all his verses, and I'm, man, just yeah, it's a perfect rap song in my opinion.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just that's what it is.
don't forget Primo scratching. We don't give him
Scratch, yeah.
enough credit. He's still scratching on his records. That's something that's a lost art now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
It has that energy.
Yeah.
But it's not like, but like with basically all Nas songs, there's substance. There's
Right.
incredible substance in the lyrics. It's not just one of those songs that has energy, but they're not really saying anything. Like, no,
Right.
there's energy, there's cohesion, there's it's just perfect. It's just really perfect. And yeah, I think you mentioned it. Like, it could definitely be your favorite Nas track. All my top three. Nas is like New York State of Mind and I Gave You Power. Those are not only three my top three Nas and Primo tracks. Those are three of just Nas overall.
Right.
Three of my top Nas tracks overall.
Okay.
And yeah, I gave the nod to Nas's like this time around. But yeah, incredible, definitely incredible, and yeah, and of course, like you guys, like I said, you guys had it in your top four as well. So
yes.
Yes.
This is Ray Lansky from Jersey. He has a classic hip hop documentary that people need to see. This is Mojo Flows. He's an artist from the Bay Area.
What's up, Mojo? I think you said from the Bay, right?
Yeah.
Was that's not the same guy from the Bay that was here before, right?
He was here before. He was here like twice, I think.
Yeah. I've popped in a few times.
Okay. What's good, fellas? Got Rock in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Look, I know I just got on, right? I gotta say this one thing, bro.
Okay.
I gotta say this one thing. First of all, we were talking about Primo, right?
Yeah.
And Rock, you of all people know when it comes to Primo, right? How between Rich Notch and Traboro, right? I want to say this though. Joe. I gotta say this. And I was talking to my comrades about this recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell y'all something. And I know I can be tough as fuck when it comes to debating or criticism, right? Criticism, right? This is to all my New York niggas, all 5 boroughs. New York is the toughest fucking criticism in the fucking world.
Yeah.
In the fucking world. You know why I say that? Because I'm still trying to find a whack Primo beat. Hey, Rock, you know what I'm talking about?
He got some though.
Hey, Rock, you know what I'm talking about?
Come on, man.
I know Green originally Texas, even though ain't none of his beats Texas at all.
Right.
All his beats, to me, sound like they made in downstairs from KRS-One in the Bronx.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But ever since y'all put that seed, planted that seed, that thought, I've been looking for.
It's not like we exaggerating. Like he's had some lukewarm stuff for the last 10 years though.
I can't. Here's the thing. See, now you're saying lukewarm. I can't find something that's like, I ain't fucking with this bleep. You know what I'm saying?
The Ransom Project, that was lukewarm. That wasn't great.
See, the thing is, right? It wasn't whack either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because the thing is, all our greats had misses.
Right.
They had hits and they had misses. All our greats.
Right.
All our greats. Rappers, producers. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit that Ray was my favorite. But there's some shit that I was like, hey, Ray, man, you could have kept that shit in your basement. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of rappers, all my favorites have some shit I don't like. That I'll be like, nah, ew, don't even play. I be if it come in my algorithm by mistake, I make sure I press don't play that shit again. Straight up. Straight up. But I want to say this. I don't care what nobody says. And somebody can debate me on this. And mind you, and this is coming from a Jersey nigga from the New York side of Jersey. I say New York side because you got two sides of Jersey. You got a side of Jersey that's more Philly. You got a side of Jersey that's a little more New York.
Right.
Even though we all a little different, but between my area, like, you know, Essex County and Hudson, Jersey City, Newark, Jersey City, and all that, we're more closer to New York, opposed to like, you know, Camden and all that is closer to Philly. So they more like on the Philly wave.
Okay.
But again, don't matter what state in the country, don't matter what country on the planet, nobody criticizes hip hop like New York. But at the same time, we can't front. They've earned it because that's the Mecca. That's the Mecca. So it's always gonna be tough. Even when we don't understand it, because I still can't find a Primo beat that was like.
We're always gonna tell you how it is. Like, I mean, I know there's some albums that I said were great, and then Rich would be looking at me like, "Yo, you thought Dog Pound album was great?" I'm like, "Yes, that's a 5-man classic." I thought Dog Food was a great album, but again, like, I get it because there was certain New Yorkers that wasn't about the West Coast or whatever. I'm like, well, I didn't grow up like that though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing the album just as an album. I don't care where they were from, but we're always gonna tell you how it is. Like, if an album is whack, it was whack. If it was classic, it was classic.
That's why Showtime and Apollo, motherfuckers shitting bricks before they walk on that stage, right? I don't know if y'all, you know, remember. Well, I'm pretty sure y'all. How old are you, Mojo?
30.
Yeah, so you might have missed that era of Showtime at the Apollo, but people were shitting bricks and don't let you be from out of town. Oh, they gonna boo you before you can grab the mic.
Right.
you get what I'm saying?
Right.
They gonna boo you before you grab the mic. So don't even think about you. Listen, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Back in the day, and it's some real shit. Back in the day, Jersey niggas, and Nodi tell you this, right? A lot of the greats that come from Jersey will tell you that when they started out, they went to New York and didn't say they were from Jersey, hoping no one asks them where they're from. You get what I'm saying? Just because, you know, Jersey didn't have a reputation of lyricists yet. The only reputation of lyricists were from New York. And I bet even within New York, it was like, nigga, if you ain't from the Bronx, you ain't shit.
Nah.
So the rest of the boroughs had to prove themselves, from what I heard.
I mean, that's how New Yorkers thought. They were very about protecting the sandbox, and anybody outside of that, they wasn't trying to hear. But it was like, again, it was like, I didn't grow up in that household, so it was like when I'm listening to like Madonna and Phil Collins, I'm listening to it as an artist from all over. So it's like when I'm listening to the West Coast stuff, I'm like, yo, the Dog Pound album was a 5-man classic. I don't understand why. You know, well, I do understand why at that time why New Yorkers wasn't fucking with it. You know, some of them, but you know, when the Ghetto Boys come out, when Bone Thugs came out, Outkast, same, you know what I mean? So I didn't look at it like, I'm looking at it like it's an album. I fuck with it. I don't care where they from. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But it was you have to be extra extraordinary to not be from New York and to gain our attention. So like when Outkast came out, they gained their attention. You know what I'm saying? When West Side Connection came out, same with them and Bone Thugs and Harmony, because they were different, but they sounded dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't deny them.
I think, and also it may be like if you look at you know, well, first of all, like New York City is the biggest metropolis in the country, bar none. So that means there's going to be that much more competition just within that tri-state area. So for anybody that's from out of the country trying to, you know, kind of conquer, you know, the New York audience, they're going to have their work cut out for them. Kind of like what I would imagine, like Memphis is like the home of the blues. So if you're not from Memphis, I would imagine anybody that is like that's in the blues trying to come there and trying to win them over, is going to be hit with the same kind of reaction where you have like we're not going to give you praise just because you're on stage. Like you have to wow us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's basically why there was some artists that hit more over here than others outside of New York. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like maybe they didn't feel UGK like that. Maybe they didn't like the Far Side like that. You know what I'm saying? So there was certain ones that hit harder here than others. You know what I'm saying? And radio had a lot to do with that because radio, the playlist at Hot 97, if you wasn't Bad Boy, it wasn't trying to fuck with you. So it was all Bad Boy and then everything else outside of Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? So it
Bad
was
Boy had
like,
that shit on Snap Block.
huh?
And I said Bad Boy had that shit on Snap Block back
Yeah,
then. I
yeah.
swear to God.
It was like
Oh my
all
God.
Bad Boy 24 hours, but it was like if you was boot camp, they were fucking with you, Wu-Tang, of course, and Onyx, and like I said, all the Death Row stuff. But it was like you have to be extra special to gain our attention, and that's how it was for a lot of them. And then the others, they didn't know about them. So it was like later on, they had to catch up to like the Ghetto Boys stuff and Paul Wall and Swisher House and all that other stuff.
But even if you look at like Ray, mentioned Jersey, like when Redman, what's the story? Like, is it like if I remember correctly, Redman, Eric Sermon first met Redman at some club in Jersey, but it took Redman reaching out first to Biz Markie and then to Eric Sermon. So that probably took a couple of years just for him to weave those connections. That
Right.
and the determination to stick it out. When Eric Sermon didn't have the time initially to work on his album,
Right.
that's something that should be talked about more because you could be the illest dude from your hood, like in Redman's case, Newark. But if you don't have a determination to stick it out during the tough times, then you're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor once you succeed.
You know what, Rock? Want something crazy? Well, you know what? You might even know, but you said about Biz Markie. Hey, yo, Biz Markie had an apartment downtown Newark back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yo, I might have told y'all he came to my hood, and he ain't just come to my hood anytime. He came to my hood literally when he was hot. This was before Just a Friend. This was you remember This Is Something for the Radio. Boom, dun, 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 dun. That same summer he dropped the Vapors.
Yes.
Remember the Vapors? And prior to the Vapors, he introduced the world to Freeze's favorite, Big Daddy Kane.
Right. Yeah, Freeze ain't here.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you had Freeze, right?
He covering the Knicks game. I know the Knicks are playing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's basically, and oh yeah, of course he was around my way, not just because he liked my hood and like that, but Roxanne Shante moved to my block after she got her deal. She lived across the street from me. Because it's two buildings where I'm from.
Wow.
195, 175. 175 is the good building, 195 is the bad, right? And there's and for a 10-year-old that's well caught up on hip hop, knowing Big Markie is the hottest, rapper around, and I'm too young to go to a concert, but I'm up to speed on every video on Video Music Box, and we just got what do you call that? The box. Remember the jukebox? You call up?
Yeah.
We had just got that. So I'm up to speed. So you to see one of your favorite rappers that's out, that's one of the hottest out, come to your block, and you're only 10 years old.
Right.
No. 10.
Crazy.
They got to feel empowering.
Yo, it was crazy. And he didn't come around there once. He came around there a few times, right? I only saw him once. And at the time, the whole not the whole Juice crew, but a good amount of the Juice crew, Shan, um, I think Kane, and G Rap, you know, Cool V, because Cool V was that was Biz's right hand, so and Cool V is from Elizabeth, so yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So what these dudes doing? My bad. I just want to point. Everybody want to be. These fake shice masks. I'm not B.
You
I'm
Oh
only
not
want to
no.
look
B.
out for them niggas.
I'm not. I'm not B. If y'all hear boom, you know what time it is. Straight up.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not playing. No, I'm
Hey,
just
yo,
joking.
yo, that's a tough
Allegedly. I'm
coat.
just joking. I'm just
Yo,
joking. Huh?
Ray, that's a tough coat that you wearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
appreciate. I bought from ShopRite.
Yeah, yo, man, this is kind of what
This is
like I
ShopRite
call.
colors. No, this is ShopRite colors. ShopRite at the supermarket. See, people think that you can't buy nothing fresh from a
Mhm.
supermarket, the dollar store. No, I listen. I don't mind buying my coats from the same place I buy my sandwich. If I like it, I like
Yo,
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
that's dope.
Yeah,
Yo.
this is like this time of year. This is what I call like that. Like that. Hoodie, North Face,
Yeah.
Tim's, gloves. Kind of whatever. Like this is this is around the time like when you would expect to hear like Mobb Deep, Wu Tang, like all of them cold, like especially if you live in cold weather cities,
Right.
like this way you like this is the best time to get fly. Like I heard Raekwon say that the best time to get fly is like during the winter. That's when you get to dress
Yeah.
in all of the fly gear.
All right. So Raka, what's your number one?
Oh, my number one is Memory Lane.
Ooh, memory lane. Okay.
Yo,
Mm.
So
I
what?
my,
We
it.
doing
my
Y'all
number
know?
one not
no
is
top,
my number.
top five Nas and Primo tracks.
Yeah, we just went through our top five.
Yeah,
We're on our number one
The
right now.
top five Primo track.
Nas and Primo tracks.
Damn. See, that's hard. It's hard,
Yeah.
but not hard.
Right.
I mean, for me.
Yeah.
For me too. They're all incredible tracks.
Yeah.
Because like everybody said, like this is like the creme de la creme of Nas and Primo songs. Like they
Right.
don't have anything in their canon that's completely whack or something that you just don't rock with at all.
Right.
And I don't think I don't did either y'all mention Memory Lane.
Yeah,
Nah,
I
I
yeah
didn't
I
know. Oh yeah,
yeah
he had
I had
memory
memory
lane.
lane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Representing all that.
Yeah.
I
So,
had
so y'all,
I
y'all talking about just Illmatic or just overall?
Now just overall, just like all from all the
overall
tracks that they've done together.
I had
Because I
represent
love
five
Second Childhood.
and I had
Yeah, that was
memory
great.
lane 4. They both had second childhood at number
Yeah.
5. So all these
Uh-huh.
names are getting mentioned.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I
hmm.
picked Memory Lane because
I love
my
that you have that number 1.
That's dope.
my favorite line from that song is the opening one.
Mm.
I rap for
Mm.
listeners, blunt heads, fly ladies, and prisoners.
Mm.
Hennessy holders,
NC holders and no
tour
school
niggas
niggas,
I
then I'll
be
be
dissing.
dissing.
Mm.
Yo, that was his audience.
Right.
I mean, like what's more hip hop than that?
All
I
right.
rap
I'm
for
the fishes
listeners.
that smoke woolly tie. I dropped out of coolie hot, gassed up by a coke cat cutie pot. Jungle survivor, fuck who's survivor. My man put the battery inside my back, a difference from Energizer. What?
Mm.
Sentence
Well,
begins indented with formality. My duration
Moderation.
and money wise of
Money
physiology.
forward to that's a part of me. But totally, I dropped the ancient manifested hip hop shit off the block.
I reminisce on Park Jams. My man was shot for his sheep coat.
Chocolate blessings make me see I'm dropping my weed smoke.
It's real grew up, tri-flight with times of white lines for hot pipes.
Chill on a block with cardiac with my peoples in the drunk marking into rap. No sign of the beast and the blue Chrysler. I guess that means pieces. My battery died on that one.
Yo, he mentioned something about like Shiesty Vice. Like when Ray mentioned like the dudes he was looking out for with the Shiesty mask.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just joking. They probably was some nerds. I'm just fucking with y'all. Ain't nobody doing nothing. I ain't doing shit. Yeah.
Memory Lane, man. That song is so soulful and everybody I don't care where you're from, but you can identify with something in that verse.
Yeah.
He said, I rap the vanguard, take that prognosis. Is it real or showbiz?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. 2025, right? Especially 2025. And then, mind, this hasn't been an easy battle for me for the years. It wasn't always like this with me when it comes to these Nas debates.
Right.
But let a nigga that been trying to debate with me for years about Nas now. They know not even talk about direction. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially if they represent the same rappers they were representing back then in the debate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Time proves everything.
Mm-hmm.
And 2025, we got to give Nas the MVP, and he ain't even dropped the fucking album yet.
Right. I don't want to give him that yet, though. I don't want to give him that yet.
No. See, I'm not talking about MVP for just a rap. I'm talking about MVP for overall God's work for the culture, yo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Listen, that nigga did God's work for the culture this year. You hear me? Like, from the hip hop museum.
I'm glad you said that because Nas, once he announced the Legend series, his mission statement was clear that he wanted to put out albums from people he respected, and clearly he does good business because they highly speak his praises, and I'm not going to mention this person because there's really no need to really get into the weeds of it, but there's a certain legendary hip hop figure that's going through it with somebody he's close to about business, and you don't see none of that with Nas. And I think what Nas is doing, it should be appreciated, and people should study it so they can understand what to do and how to keep doing it.
Yeah, he the one, yo. He the one. And I remember 50 saying it. The bullshit him and 50 went through, which wasn't really about nothing, some bullshit. But even 50 said, like, yo, he the one. He the one. And that's nigga ain't got time to be saying, anything about anybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
All right, so Raka, that's your number one, the Memory Lane?
Yes, sir.
All right, number one for me is New York State of Mind. That's my all-time favorite Nas and Primo collab. The beat, the samples, like Primo sampled Mind Rain by Joe Chambers and Flight Time by Donald Byrd. He also sampled NT by Kool and the Gang, and I love it. Like, I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. Hip hop quotable. The whole from like I said, that's the first record on Illmatic after the intro. Like he set the tone already with that record, and it just describes New York. If you've never been to New York City, just listen to that song. It describes New York City with that song. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole mood of it, the bass line, everything. Like just a phenomenal record.
And that was in our top three for all of us.
Yeah.
As an aside, when you say if you've never been to New York City, when I heard New York State of Mind, the first thing I thought of was Taxi.
Yeah. Right.
Yo, like I never wanted to go. Like once I saw that, I never want to go to New York City ever again.
Oh nah, hey, yo, hey yo, oh, hold on. Yo, hold up, yeah, my bad, bro. Hold on, that caught me off guard. Nah, but no, hey yo, but look, hey, check this out.
Mm.
Hey, yo, check this out. Hey yo, I just realized it, yo, my first time in New York. I'm not in New York. No, I've been in New York since I was a baby. But as far as like, here in New York State of mind, right? Why a nigga was in New York? Let me tell you, it was Easter '94. Me and my crew went to New York, right? To motherfucking Times Square to go see Above the Rim.
Ooh.
Right? We went to see Above the Rim.
Wow.
Left
You
the
went on,
fucking
you went on
movie
40
theater
Deuce?
on 40 Deuce.
Yeah, okay.
That's why on Echo, when he said something about 40 Deuce, I thought about that shit. Me and my crew on 40 Deuce, right?
Yeah.
Went to 40 Deuce, left the movie theater to go get some smoke. We on the fucking train, new mixtape. Guess what the fuck is playing? The first time we hear it. New York State of Mind.
Yep.
We on the train, nigga.
On the train.
And fucking beat something was made on that bitch.
Yep.
Damn.
That sound like me walking from cart to cart.
Exactly.
To find a good seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether I'm in New York, MTA, or I'm in Jersey on the path on my way to New York.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Going through Jersey City and shit like that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And the line that this was gonna get funny. The line that caught my attention the most was I never sleep. Like you just said, I never sleep. Because sleep is a cousin of death.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn. He said, and he kept going back to that shit for the hook. I'm like, God damn. Now, we go to a club that night back in Newark called Zanzibar. It was teen night, right? It was teen night. So you know how, when we young, see, I still do it now.
Right.
You can be somewhere chilling and you just, a verse come in your head, you just happen to rap it to yourself.
Yeah.
You can do it all the time, right? I got in this girl's nerves so fucking bad. She was trying to give me jump.
Oh man.
Didn't know I had a whole crew with me. And my sister was there, and I didn't even know. My sister would have fucked her up. Straight up. My sister, shout to my sister Keandra. She would have fucked her up. But she's like, would you stop saying that, nigga? Damn. Sleep is cousin of death. She was mad as shit, yo.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Word up. Probably scared to have.
You know what I mean?
And what do they call New York City? The city that never sleeps.
Yo, no, on some real shit. That's 100% facts. I never went to motherfucking New York, and it was sleep even in COVID.
Right,
straight up.
They were up.
You'll see something.
They was up.
Yeah, they be low key.
Yeah,
motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
we can have a blackout. There's still people out in the street with a blackout. If 9/11 happened, there's still people out there.
And they might be selling something that you need.
Right. Facts.
Real shit, yo. You can find certain shit that you need at an odd hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so
Yeah, man.
When I went to go see my
hey, let's run through our top 5.
Yeah.
Close it out.
All right, Mojo, what was your top 5?
All right. So at number 5, I had Represent.
Okay.
Off Illmatic. At number 4, I also had one off Illmatic, Memory Lane.
Nice.
At number 3, I had I Gave You Power off It Was Written. Number 2, I had New York State of Mind off Illmatic. And my number 1 was Nos Is Like off I Am.
Classic. Raka, what's your top 5?
My top 5 is Second Childhood. Number 4, Nas Is Like.
Okay.
Number 3, New York State of Mind. Number 2, I Gave You Power,
Mm-hmm.
and number one, Memory Lane.
Oh, great
Mm-hmm.
list. My number 5 was Second Childhood. Number 4 was Represent. Number 3 was Nas's Like. Number 2 was I Gave You Power. And number 1 was New York State of Mind. Ray, do
So
you have a top 5?
yeah, yeah.
Off the top, all right. So my number one got to be New York State of Mind. My
Okay.
reason why, because and mind you, before I say this could have led me to be in a hard critical, um, a hard critic for what's his name,
Freezy?
State of Mind number one, because
Mm,
I still never heard nothing tougher than that from them two to me.
right.
You know what I mean? Just the feeling they gave me.
Mm,
Of course I mess with Second Childhood,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Um uh that that beat Project Too Hot with 50 in Nature, was that premiere or no?
Nah.
It wasn't?
Nah.
Okay, I thought it was for a second. Just a quick way they scratch it. All
Mm,
right. So that, I mean, well, not that, but Second Childhood, um shit, I Gave You Power. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yep.
I Gave You Power, you know, I
Mm,
can't front on that.
right.
Shit, Represent is also the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Represent, you know.
Okay.
Um I can't think of the other one. Like I
Yeah.
said, you know, I kind of, you know, I can't think of.
Nobody picked Come and Get Me from Nostradamus.
I was just thinking about that one. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun,
It,
dun, dun. I
I
was just thinking about that, but I
I
forgot the
love the
name.
bars. I
Yeah.
love the bars, but and I love the beat too. But
Mm,
The
it
hook.
was the beat that made it so it didn't make my top five, because
okay.
it wasn't perfect in my opinion. All the other
Right.
ones that I picked were perfect, and that one
Okay.
was just slightly not perfect.
Okay. So,
Yeah, like uh, I kind of feel the same way. Like Come Get Me, like that. Like to me, that's more like I hate to say it, but that's more
mm,
like Come Get Me, like the bench player. Like
okay.
it
It's
ain't
fits
cracking
in.
my starting five rotation.
Right. So that would be like your honorable mention?
Yeah, I was gonna say I had an
Yeah.
honorable mention, and my
Yeah.
honorable mention was New York State of Mind too.
Oh, that's
Oh, I
another
forgot
one that
about
was
that
good
one.
too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great, but it just missed out. It just missed out on my top five. I couldn't get rid of Memory Lane or Represent. So
Right.
New York State of Mind 2 is an
Right.
incredible track. It just missed out on my top five.
Okay. Now he has another record with Primo, Turn Up the Mic, but that was Bumpy Knuckles and Nas, produced by Primo.
Yeah,
That was on the Bumpy Knuckles album, The Collection.
yeah.
That came out in 2012. But I think Nas killed that track. Now, if we get a whole album of that Nas Primo album gonna be classic.
Man,
And yeah, I like the Primo collabo with Hit Boy for No
Mm,
Comparison. We more solid than
yeah,
they. I thought that shit was dope.
that was Wave Gods, the Wave Gods joint.
Yeah, shout to
Yeah.
Max B. He could be home any day, God. Oh, I gotta talk to y'all about that.
Okay.
Remind me to talk to y'all about it. I was there.
Bet,
I was there.
bet.
I gotta
Yo,
talk to you about that.
y'all want to go live again after this? Because I want to wrap this up for the Nas as Nas and Primo.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do
All
that.
right,
We can
bet.
do that.
So we're gonna come right back. Mojo, to tell them what you got coming up.
cool. Yeah. Well, I just dropped an album. Is that what you're talking about, Try?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I just dropped an album. My artist name is Mojo Flows. Definitely check it out. It's 12 tracks, all different styles. So I hope you dig it. It was a year and a half in the making, so
Dope.
definitely really proud of it, and hope you guys can check it out for sure. Mojo Flows, all platforms.
Dope.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been rocking some shows, which
Mhm.
has been dope. Just did a show with One Below from Binary Star.
Dope.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so ending the year on a good note, and it's just great being with talking with other hip hop heads and
Yeah.
building community and everything. So much love to all you guys.
Thanks, man. Salute for you. We're gonna definitely come right back. Mojo, I know you gotta go and do your own thing, but
Yep.
we're gonna definitely come back and we're gonna talk about Max
Thank
B and De La Soul and all that.
Sounds good. Sounds
All right.
good. All right.
Yeah, salute.
All right.
Like, comment, share. Everybody that came through. Dame was here earlier. Shout out to Dame. Ultra Mag was here. Shout out to Ultra Mag. And let me know your top 5 Nas Primo collaborations of all time. And we will be right back. Shout out to Raka. Shout out to Ray Lansky. Stay with us. We'll be back.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.